Well, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and this is our project today. Now, it's a good time of year right now before we move into Christmas to pick up these used trees from the thrift store. I got this one for $10. And what I thought that I'd do, so here's what happens. A lot of people say, oh, it looks old, it looks tired, and so they get rid of them. And you can pick them up pretty inexpensively as they run out and buy new ones. And one this size is going to easily run them like $80 to $100 potentially. I liked this one a lot because it's got two different types of greenery branches on it. So it's got some interest. Now, it came like this. I didn't bother taking it apart. I just kind of snagged it and ran. So it's kind of big, huge pot. Like it's not a big tree in and of itself, but it's got this huge, big, black pedestal base to it. Okay, that's heavy. And this just kind of sits in it. Now, it does have, oh, it has lights. Well, okay, wait, I have a cord back here. All right, let's see. I don't know if it works. I have other, oh, and the lights work, and it's a push button. Well, that's kind of fun. Okay, then. All right, so here's my plan. I figured, you know, this is the kind of thing that I would just sort of fix up, but y'all might want to see how to fix it up, right? How I would zhuzh it. So, first things first, light placement, right? It makes sense to have the lights on when you're placing them on your tree, just so that you can see if they're in the right spot. So I like to kind of zhuzh the tree out how it would be and then see how the lights are. Now this pot is just a plain black. And it just occurred to me, I grabbed some gold gilding. I'm gonna get some silver because I think I'm gonna be putting some silver decorations on this. So I might as well do it for for the pot to match, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just kind of zhuzh out all of the greenery. So get it all spaced nicely all the way around the tree, because before we do the next step, we're going to want that done. I want the greenery in the right place. So right now it's all kind of bent up and squished. And I'm going to adjust the lights, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the pot before we carry on with the tree. But it's cute, right? $10. Before I get started on zhuzhing the tree, because the branches are going to come down in my way, what I want to do is use silver gilding wax. I happen to have Annie Sloan bright silver, but a rub and buff product would work, or even a metallic paint. Now, this one's popping out, so I'm going to dab it down. I just want to have a little bit of this. Where's the camera? I just want a little bit of this on my finger. And I'm going to rub it lightly on the surface. I want to highlight those details rather than just having it be a stark black. Now you could use a brush for this, but I just use my finger and I just run it over the raised surface. And you can see already that it's just adding a little bit more interest. I'll do it down these ribs as well, and I'll do the same along the base. And then this is just zhuzhed up a little bit and a little bit cleaner and prettier. That's it. Just to give you a quick peek, this is our urn all sort of finished. It's got a little bit of that silver gilding on it. It just looks a little bit dressier and it doesn't look so plastic anymore. Hey, I think I know why they threw this out. because it's beautiful. It's got 3 different kinds of greenery in here, so it's very lush. But whoever wound the lights on, wound them around really tight around big groupings and then went back and forth. So everything was squished tight and you couldn't zhuzh anything. I had to take the lights off entirely. Now, I put the lights on. You can see that they are in the center, not out to the sides. And that's because we're gonna flock this tree. So know that I have protection. Just because I have to talk to you, I'm not putting it on while I demo it. But then I'm gonna put it on when I do the rest of the tree. So flocking is just a really thin powder. And although it's not hazardous or dangerous, and it's not flammable or anything, just any kind of light powder like that, just as a general rule, you don't want to be breathing in. With flocking, all that's required is you want it to go on to kind of a wet surface. And this is where I have the lights in close. And just a little bit of a strainer. And just dust on your flocking. So as much as you want in your areas. And then mist it again. It's the water that bonds it to your piece. So you can do a light dusting. You could add more because you're kind of going, oh no, I want it to look even snowier. And then just keep anchoring it down. I probably shouldn't have the bag of it underneath where I'm doing the water. Okay, so I'm just gonna go around the whole tree with my mask on and get all of my flocking on. So that's gonna be pretty cool. The other thing that I'm gonna do, I also thrifted for $4.50 less 30%. So $45.90. So you know what? Probably for about $3. All of these different snowflakes. So there's all kinds of different snowflake ornaments, all different patterns, which is very cool. I need them to be silver. So tonight, before I go home, after I flock this, I'm going to spray paint those. I'm going to at least get them on one side. If I can get 2 before I go, that would be awesome. Because I'd like this to be snowy, blue, and silver. That's the thought. That's the plan. So the silver snowflakes are going to match the silver that we put onto the base. Look at how rich this tree looks, how good it looks just with that flocking. So the idea with this is that sometimes as the trees age, you know, you get a little bit of kind of almost like fraying, like fabric does of the needles. And I think that's why people got rid of this one. You don't see it. You don't even notice it with the flocking on. And it just looks so cute. I love the little bit of silver down here. This is a great shape. I did discover, let me plug it in for you. I did discover that these lights go on and then they go colored if you want. And then you can put them on this, which now will fade out. There it goes. And come back and fade out. So awesome. Awesome that the lights still even work. I didn't expect that. Now, to finish this off, because we're looking at just doing this as, this is something easily that you could put in a hall foyer. You know, if you've got the big round table, this could be a centerpiece there. It could be if you've got your big tree down in your basement, this could be a tree that you put on a little side table in your living room as just an extra little piece of decoration. So, you know, if you got a big front bay window, maybe this goes in there. So what I do have, again, all thrifted items. So I have those snowflakes, those plastic snowflakes that I showed you. Oh my goodness, they're all tangled up. And I just spray painted them silver so that we'll be able to put those in, which brings the silver that we did on the base in there. So I have those. I have some light balls and I have some dark blue balls that both are from the thrift store, both from the thrifting store. And what I also have, this is from the dollar store, is just some light blue tulle. And all I'm doing is cutting it into, that's maybe about 9 inches. And I am just scrunching it in the middle, putting a little bit of a wire so that I can just wire that into various spots. After I've put the balls on and the stars, this is my backup if I want a little bit more decor, some softness to be able to go against the kind of the finite feel, the harsh feel of the ball, right? Which is a very solid object. If I want to add a little bit more softness, that kind of is in keeping with this. And that's all we're going to do for decorations. We're keeping it nice and simple in the blues and silvers. And the only thing that I'll do for this is I will take a little bit of that same wire and I will just cut a little piece of it. Oh, probably easier if I'm not holding the ball. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of it, hook it through the ornament, and then I will actually kind of wire it on to a branch so that at the end of the season, put this into a big industrial size garbage bag, seal it up at the top, and then it's ready to go with very little work next season. So just to make your life easier. Find a place that you want to put it and twist that wire again. I like using that black, this I just got from the dollar store. It's very fine, thin, but I like that because it disappears into my tree. And you can see even when I was doing that, the flocking stayed intact. So even after I do my decorations, I can still kind of move this around. That water has soaked that on there. Let me get this finished up, add some of our decorations, and then I'll show you the finished product. And here's our finished tree. It looks awesome. I love the pot. I love how this is tall and narrow. And if you recall, it was pretty beat up looking. Now, the hardest part about this whole project was spending the hour taking off the wiring job. I don't know what the heck they were thinking when they did it, but it was so tightly wound, you couldn't separate out the branches, and they'd round so many times around branches that they were all skinny and spindly looking. As soon as I took all that wiring off, it poofed out and it allowed me to separate branches and open up the grouping so it looks nice and full. And really, that flocking made it. So if you have trees that are kind of losing their luster, that they just are looking a little bit tired, look into doing the flocking. I'll put a link in there for the little packet that I got. I used maybe 1/3 of it on this. So it goes a long way, extremely easy to use and really quite durable, right? As I've been moving and zhuzhing this around, it's still staying put. So I love how it looked. This is adorable. I might want to keep this. So I love how it came out. I'm in love with the flocking as it hides a multitude of sins and really serves to refresh a lot of these trees. So saving them from getting ditched and creating something that's beautiful once again. Let me know what you think of this one. Let me know if you've ever done any flocking. This is my first one, super easy, and I've been really, really careful with how I say that word on my video so I don't get banned inadvertently. But I love how it just zhuzhes this up and really makes it come alive and makes it look pretty special. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, guys, take care.